Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me here. So we're going to have a panel to talk about data and customers. Leading into that, they asked me to talk about a little bit about Convoy's culture and how we think about customers and some of the values that we use to run our business. So I'm going to jump into our slides here. Let me go back. OK, perfect. So I'm going to talk about some of the cultural values that we have at Convoy. So here's a list here on the left. These are kind of the operating principles for how we run our business. And we use these, we interview for these. We use these to provide feedback to each other when we do peer reviews. We use these to make trade-offs and decisions. And one in particular that I'm going to dive into today, one of my favorites is called Love Problems and Not Solutions. And we created this specifically to hedge against innovator's dilemma, to make sure that our teams didn't fixate too much on A/B testing, perfecting, improving the solutions they built, and forget about the original problem they were trying to solve. This actually came to me when I was at Amazon, and he mentioned the reviews team. There was a team that built reviews maybe 15, 16, 17 years ago. And the original problem they were trying to solve was customer confidence. If you're buying something online, you can't touch it, see it, smell it, talk to the sales rep. So how do you get confidence to buy it? Well, they came up with the idea of peer reviews. So other people write a review, rate it 1 to 5 stars, and then you learn from that and you get confidence. That solved the customer confidence problem. But what they did is they didn't name the team the customer confidence team. They named them the ratings and reviews team. So everyone they ever hired for the next 15 years thought their job was to make ratings and reviews better. And nobody was thinking about other technologies, other solutions. And so a lot of things came along that weren't incorporated, that weren't used. And it took other teams actually disrupting them internally to build new things like ask a question, get an answer, or fit, and all these other sorts of things. So I kind of had this observation, wow, that's interesting. Left to any team's own devices, oftentimes you will protect the thing you built versus remembering there's an existential problem you're trying to solve. So we think about it as problems are evergreen. They tend to last for a very, very long time, but the solutions that come along to solve them can change. And they are dependent on what the latest technology is. And it's super important to not forget that the thing every team at your company is trying to do is solve a problem, not make their solution successful. So let's go through one example here. Access to entertainment. This is an age-old problem. So I wrote out some of the ways that people have gotten access to entertainment for years, right? Started out with stories around a campfire, theater, movie theaters, home entertainment with physical devices, then home entertainment through devices, a DVD mailed to your house, and then streaming. And if you think about this, each one of these was solving the exact same problem. How do I get entertainment, right? But they changed based on technology over time. And so often companies along this list and other companies, you can look at, capturing images. The technology changes how it's done, and the company that's building it forgets to go back to that original problem. The teams are so motivated to make the thing they started with work that they forget that. So at Convoy, we've thought about this a lot. We actually have gone out of our way to name the teams the problems. So we don't have a back-end technology team or a front-end team or an app team, an iOS team. We have a team that focuses on the experience for the truck driver, like the truck driver experience, the shipper's experience, reducing empty miles, which are like these long-term problems we're trying to solve in trucking. And then those teams think about how do I solve this problem across a range of possibilities, and they're constantly asking themselves every single quarter, is there a new solution, a new technology that can help me solve my problem better? And that's just part of the process we built. And it prevents us from falling into a world of not disrupting ourselves. One of the other problems we've spent a lot of time focusing on is the problem of waste in trucking. And so that was originally solved by companies trying to plan their routes better, trying to make sure they load the back of the truck better, and then people calling around and building relationships with truck drivers and trying to find the right truck for the right job. Maybe trying to call and get a better appointment time, building a better relationship with the person at the dock. So that when you call and say, hey, I got a truck showing up tomorrow, I need to get that truck in at 10, they're going to make some time for you, and negotiating, building that relationship. So these human-to-human interactions, human planning is how people solved efficiency in trucking for a long time. And then all of a sudden, you had an opportunity where smartphones came along. In 2014 or so, I think that's when you would go get your new phone. Every 2 years, you get an upgrade phone, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, and you'd get a discounted phone every 2 years. And I think it was about 2014 when the discounted, the free phone you could get became a smartphone. I think it was the Android Galaxy S3 and then the iPhone C-Class, and there was different phones. That's when truck drivers started to get smartphones. So all of a sudden, in every truck in the country, you have a smart device connected with GPS everywhere, unlimited texting, unlimited data. And truck drivers started buying into this, and all of a sudden we can see where they all are. So then the new solution of Convoy was able to be done, which is I can actually get visibility into where all the trucks are. I can build a system that directly connects with the shipper, with the truck driver, has that information, allows me to figure out, okay, this is the right truck for this job. Instead of driving 200 miles, when I look at my thousands of trucks, I can find one that's only 20 miles away. I can take these two jobs and stitch them together as one job because the appointment times are optimal and the round trip is perfect, and I can actually offer that job to a trucker, and we can reduce some empty miles and reduce some waste and lower the cost of the industry. So we're using that as one of the solutions, and we're constantly thinking about how do we innovate. And what we try to do as a business is remember, again, the problem is reducing waste. Our mission is endless capacity with zero waste. Like that's the never-ending problem we're going to solve. And I try to encourage our teams every day to write job descriptions for employees. Your job is not to execute on a set of things that are happening at the company. We hire you to solve these problems for us, right? And just renaming everything along this paradigm. And that's really allowed us to, even within our own business, we're only 5 years old, but we've changed how we've gone to market several times, and we're constantly thinking of new things. And I think at any stage, any size company, recent, company's been around for a long time, that mindset of orienting your teams and your employees around the problems they're solving and stepping away from being in love with that solution they created and really embracing that long-term evergreen problem frees people up to disrupt themselves, to change the way they're doing it, and to pick new solutions and new technologies and feel successful at bringing that in versus protecting the thing that they've been building. So I wanted to share that. It was something we wanted to use to kind of introduce the concept of different approaches. How do we use data? How do we kind of track the ability of our teams to execute and improve over time? And it's something we've been using at Convoy to allow us to avoid kind of innovator's dilemma and fall into a solution and forget the original problem that we're trying to solve.